Accuracy's damn near perfect. The control's damn near perfect. It's definitely nice. I hate snipers, but once I started playing with that one, I definitely like it. But this XRK M4 with that fucking with that armory connected to it, I can't pass it, man. It's just a legendary weapon. It's a legendary blueprint, and it's like bronze.
That's the new Dark Matter.
Know which one?
Oh, Damascus.
Damascus? What's that?
The new Black Matter. I don't know if you play Blackout.
Oh, Black? What you said?
You ever play Blackout? Like Black Ops?
Oh, Blackout? No.
Yeah. They got that Dark Matter in there. And then when you kills, it changes. It's badass.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've been trying that.
Here, they don't got Dark Matter. They got called something Damascus. Better look in YouTube to see if anybody.
Yo, Speedy, how come I don't have you on here? Where you at? Oh, is that? No, that's Trix. That's Ramon. You gonna join the party?
Well, me, I gotta go to
Mic on.
Oh. I guess he said he's gonna go to the store real fast. You gonna come and join us though when you?
Fuck you. I'm good. I'm good if you burn any cigarette. Huh? I mean, that's what happens when I never quit cigarette.
Hey, stress is real, nigga. Yeah, it says season 1 Moss Pit got some new shit on Crank.
Yeah.
Kills give you speed perks and activity. Activate a bomb countdown on your character. Think. Yeah. I know, that's what I was thinking. Jason Statham.
I'll be back real quick. Let me go hit the store real quick.
We're gonna get a couple games in until you're done.
I mean, go ahead. It's not like... What level are you in?
Hey, what?
What level are you in, Chaos?
Me, I just started and shit. I'm at 31. Okay, I've been progressing and shit.
You. Ramon, what level are you in? Then I don't have to definitely worry about y'all.
Wow, what level you in?
110?
No, Ramon was like 100 and something, but they booted his ass back in digits.
What?
Yeah, he was like 100 something, and they cut his thing in half. I don't know how the hell they did that.
His rank?
Yeah. Yeah. It was like 130 something and shit.
Well, then you're supposed to be higher than me, Ramon.
I would have been, bro.
Yeah.
But the season started.
If the season started it, my rank is still 107.
Right.
Yeah, so you should have been like 140 something by now.
Yeah, I think cool. I was 155 is the max. I was like 143, and then I got booted back.
You're not supposed to get booted.
Yeah, no.
Your rank level.
Yeah, your rank got because the new season started.
But the rank level don't. The rank on the right hand side with your game tag, that don't go down. I mean, your rank, whatever the thing might have started new. No, nigga, I'm still 64.
Right. Well, I don't know, bro. It shows me cut down. Because I still have like some of the weapons you're supposed to get later. I got them because I leveled up before. Yeah. I got more attachments and stuff. No, they said though when the season started, and you joined right when the season was starting. And I don't think you got a cut back.
Already started.
I think the people only got cut back if they were above 100.
You heard?
Huh?
The season already started. Probably like a day.
Yeah, well, they said that people are going to get cut back if they're over level 100.
Oh.
Yeah, that's... Hey, give me a second.
So what rank are you right now?
And now I'm 65.
You're not catching up. I'm just letting you know now.
Yeah, probably not. I haven't really been playing that much. Oh, man.
You gotta remember, I'm doing the weapons. So by the time I'm actually done with the game,
Give me a sec, guys.
I'm gonna be up there in rank.
Right. No, I know, bro.
You
I
won't.
feel you. I've been doing challenges and stuff too. It's frustrating when you're not working.
I mean,
Know that everybody else.
it's not that. I mean, I play with gun. Every time I play with you, I'm playing with a gun. Only with that gun and only with that gun until I'm done with that gun. I'm not letting go of that gun until I'm done with that gun. If you know what I mean now with that gun.
You sound like a gun. You sound like a gunner.
Mic off.
No,
All right, what's up, Magic? What's going on, dude? Welcome back, bro.
switching into
Glad to have you here, man.
Which
Yeah.
every gun I hold it is already done.
Find out
So
what's
far.
happening here.
MP5, AUG, Fall, and Kilo.
Mm,
Now it's gonna be the Uzi and the M4 carbine. Well, the M4 carbine is kind of tricky because the hits don't land really hard, like the other guns so far. In other words, the carbine doesn't hit Uzi and the M4 carbine. It won't be a one. M4 carbine is kind of tricky because depending on the distance too, hits don't land really hard.
Right. Look at Latin Mick Assassin. He's stuck on that Fortnite, bro.
Oh, what the fuck am I keep pushing? In other words, the
Look at Latin.
carbine doesn't hit Uzi and the M4 carbine. It won't be a one. M4 carbine is kind of tricky because depending on the distance too.
Oh yeah. Let's do this. Y'all ready for this?
Yo, ready for this?
That's how you do it. Oh, my bad, Chaos. Alright, let's see,
Let's go backwards.
see if we can happen here, bro. You're gonna have to carry your boy. You know how I am about this controller, bro.
Daddy, this is how you do it. Yo, ready for this? What?
Oh, yeah. You ready for this, bro?
All right.
Oh, the party chat got messed up. Testing. What the heck? Testing. Oh, you guys are in a party. What the hell's going on then? Hello. How are you? I asked you first. Oh, real nice. Oh, what the heck is wrong with my... Man, yo, Chaos, can you hear me, bro? Hello? I know you can hear me. Are you ignoring me? How dare you? I hear nothing but the wind. If you're speaking, I cannot hear what you are saying. Say what? Keep dropping things. Can you hear me now? I know you can hear me. Here he is. What's up?
Hold on, I'm in the dark.
Oh! Why didn't you say
I was
so?
too busy. That was too busy conversating.
Hey, you sound like you got a bread, bro. Did you get a little,
Yeah,
get a little quick round in there?
Had to take the garbage out, you know. Put it in the disposal. No, I'm just sorry.
Mic off.
Yo, what happened to Magic? Magic, what's going on, dude? Thank you so much for coming in, bro.
Mic on.
Honestly, bro? Oh. You said infection.
They don't have that number. Oh, yeah, they do. Infected. Yeah, never mind.
Yeah. Oh, and it got cranked. Dang, that's got to be like, hold on.
I was going to try that crank. I think I need one more gunfight to unlock that one little Asian chick you got.
Mic on.
Oh, to do what now? To like what?
The little Asian chick.
Oh yeah, you gotta do challenges, bro. I think I got this one from 2v2s.
I think it's gunfight or ground war.
Yeah.
I think it's gunfight. I'm not sure.
You know what you do is go to operators, click on correlation domino, and then hover over her. It'll tell you how you get her.
Yeah, gunfight. Need one more on gunfight. Win 5 matches of gunfight. Yep, 5 matches of gunfight. Need one more.
You need one more?
Yeah, win one more, I'll lock her.
Why am I playing as this bulky dude?
I don't know, I see you as a chick right now.
Yeah, I know. Only when I'm on this team. But I think I'm gonna play as this guy.
Should I switch mine out?
Right.
Got some other pretty cool ones. Let me see. Cause right now I got that little blue hazmat looking dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let me see.
Okay. Let's do this. Let's do this. All right, what do you want to do? You said gunfight, infection, what?
I'm gonna pick the war pig. Pick him.
War pig? Is he like the pig of war?
Yeah, it's an epic. It's Wyatt, but it's called War Pig.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool. Alright, which one you want to do?
That was me, man. You said you need gunfight, right?
Yeah, just one.
I was just about to say
I
that.
need to win it.
Yeah, you need to win it.
Alright, let's go.
You thought it was gonna be that easy, bro?
Yeah, one more.
Honestly, dude, I'm gonna be completely honest. I always pick the chicks in video games. You know why? Because they have their hitbox is usually a lot smaller than the males. Harder to hit. Yeah, this is much better. But earlier I was playing on my Xbox headphones, man, and like the sound kept cutting out, and then like the capture card turned black, and it was driving me freaking nuts, dude. I said, "It's gonna." Are you ready to win this? Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. Let's get it. Spitty went to the store.
Yeah, he'll be back, he said.
Oh, this fucking board.
Oh my god, this is gonna be so hard out of control. Oh my god. Turn my volume up so I can hear the game.
Don't be like your son and die too fast, nigga.
Oh, really, bro? Really, bro?
Go! Clear for fight!
You still alive there, buddy? Are you still there? Good.
10 seconds!
He's on our right. Nice.
That's a win.
Okay. That's how you do it.
I was like, Spartan.
Better going against.
Jumped off. I done ran and jumped off the thing.
I've been missing so many
Oh,
shots.
this shit's got a fucking.
I got a kill.
You got killed? Oh, shh.
Watch your left. Watch your left. He's on the right. He's on the right.
Dang. Wait, you still alive?
Yeah, I'm still alive, bro.
Turkey, I thought you said he killed you. That's why I went for vengeance.
No!
Dress up for the next
Slice.
round.
I wish you'd have told me. I thought you was dead. You made it seem like you got killed.
Oh, he didn't even shoot me. Look, what the
Put
hell?
them in the ground.
My aim assist OP.
sniper. Fucking sniper. Why can't I use mines? Got him.
Okay.
That was quick, nigga.
What the hell? Oh,
Oh shit.
you okay? You
Got him
okay?
on my side. Yeah, he's on my side.
Copy that. Copy that.
I'm running the other side.
Got him. With a controller. Okay.
Smell
Bro, I shot quick as fuck.
That drag scope.
Right
Boom.
his ass cheek.
I forgot how easy it is on controller.
Bro, I hit this dude quick as fuck. I'm scoping as I move to this.
Oh, he got me. Son of a mother, son of a trucker.
Got his ass.
Oh, he shot me in the chest. He's on your right. He knows where you are. He hears you. He's on top, I think. Oh, wait.
10 seconds.
Yep, you saw him.
I seen him.
Objective mark.
Oh, he's up top. You alright, bro? You panicked?
Let's fight
That
for the
nigga
win.
ran
So
around.
be
me.
it.
Yeah, he pulled a John Cena. He's like, you could see me.
I seen him up there and then he disappeared.
Wipe them out.
Take this nigga.
You okay, bro? He's up top, top middle.
Got him.
Nice.
That's a win. Let's get back out there.
Woo. You might get this. You might get your girl, man.
Precision.
Yeah, bro, you straight shooting for the culo, man.
Precision. Straight up. One on left, one on the straight.
What?
I don't know.
Mic off.
10 seconds.
Damn, I
We
see him.
lost that round, but we're not dead yet. Get ready.
From the top. Right my ankles.
Mic on.
Oh man, we're gonna get this next round, bro. We got this. Oh, pistols. Oh shoot, let's
Very
go.
nice. Very nice. Oh, I got killed, bro.
What?
Get ready. We're going back in.
Oh, he's on top too, though. I was about to get murdered no matter what.
Of course
Come on,
you
we got
suck.
this, bro.
I mean,
What?
you ain't got no
Man, let me tell you something, bro.
Tell me something, bro. I like to hear it.
What the son of a biscuits? Put some gravy on that, Lucky.
I know.
Yeah, the knife bounced and got me. And it bounced off me. It didn't even stab me. How did I die? He used a
Every
rubber
name,
knife.
whenever you're ready.
Oh, he shot him in the balls. That's how you do it, bro. Watch your right. He's on top. He knows you're there. Oh,
I know
Work
you're
as a
there.
team, or
I
we
know
die.
you're there. He definitely knows you're there. What you gonna do about it?
I don't know, bro. But all I know is what I'm gonna do with all that chump.
I like these
Switching
more.
sides.
Ah! No, we
That
can't, bro.
Can't take another loss.
We got
We
this,
got a
man.
better gun.
Yeah, we good. We good.
We should slay these mortals like mortals they are.
One down. Oh, he's on my side.
Right there, yeah, I see. He's on my side, I'm going for him. Damn, he got me. Fucking smoke. Watch it.
10 seconds. Objective on the field. Take it.
Woo! That's how you do it.
Get ready for the next one.
Bitch.
Go for that flag. Yeah. Make sure I shot every part of his body.
This,
Man,
fight them back.
come on, man. These niggas can't beat us, bro.
Ah, bro. One down. Woo!
2 wins down. Stay on them.
Look at that, bro. This is it. Tight. 5 up.
That back ain't cheating, baby.
Switching sides.
Switching sides.
All right, this is it
Tie
right
game.
here.
We're not
Oh,
fighting yet.
the pressure. What is a shotgun? No.
Oh, shit.
You're the last man standing.
Rematch. That's how
A
you do
brutal
that shit.
victory.
You try to be quiet. You heard him. He wasn't even moving.
That motherfucker was doing the same thing you was doing. He was at the end of the steps.
Right.
You finished your game?
Oh,
Yeah,
look
see,
at
I
that,
get-
7 for 7.
I do good in game modes like these. Not that lucky, just run around the map getting luck type stuff.
Yeah.
Your skills based on luck.
2v2s are hard, bro.
Oh, you're playing gun game?
No, yeah, he needed to unlock a character real quick. Did you get
You
her?
got the 5 wins?
I think so.
Yeah. That was my
The
fifth
5
one. I
wins
got it.
doesn't count one match.
I got it. I got it.
No, he did 5 wins in a row. Yeah.
Yeah, I just did
No.
5.
No, he did 5
I got the
rounds
win.
or the like
No, I'm
5
saying-
separate
no,
rounds.
I got Coalition Domino, the little Chinese chick. I got it. Win 5 gun games. That was my 5th one I won.
Hold on. We gotta get speedy. What are you doing, bro?
Oh shit.
Damn.
Jeez.
I didn't know I was still in it.
I got you, bro. See, I remembered about you, Speedy. See that? Look
How
at that.
you said, nigga, add me on Xbox.
Oh, you Xbox?
Huh? Yeah, I'm Xbox. I ain't PC.
Bro, I ain't gonna lie. My fingers were panicking, bro. Cause you know how I am with the controller.
You some milk.
Yeah, milk. Ooh. It's a leche. And then the biggie.
Milks and donuts.
Yeah.
Fat boy shit.
Yeah.
All right, so what y'all want to do? Y'all want to do that crank? Hey, Speedy, how you feel about infected? As long as you don't get infected.
I thought we played some regular, hardcore TDM.
All right, well, we can do that then. Let's get it in. You ready, Trix?
I'm ready. Let's go.
I want to play that. Then I'll back
Nah,
up.
shit, let's
Stay in
go.
the party.
Let's go.
I'm in a gun mission. I'm
All
finishing
right,
my
come,
skit.
come on. Well, I got Team Deathmatch, selected game modes and shit,
Oh, okay.
but it's pretty much the same shit, I guess.
Right.
Searching for match. Yeah, Ramon told me which ones to actually select out of the other bullshit boards, I guess, or games. The ones with the dog tags ain't bad.
Yeah, it's not bad. Kill Confirm is okay.
You see my calling card? Yeah, buddy.
Okay.
What the hell is your call? Speedy, I should put the unicorn. Where's your
Oh, you
calling
got
card
out.
at? Oh, okay.
Mic off.
Yeah,
You thought I was lying?
we're gonna try. We're gonna
No,
try. You know what I'm
I
saying?
don't lie about my
We're gonna really try.
I got a
I think we
daughter.
got this,
I can
guys.
get away with it now. You know what I mean?
Hey, I
Back
do
in the
too.
days, I'd be like, I'm a hard ass nigga. I don't like no
Nah, you
unicorns.
was drinking-
Now I
you
got
was
a
drinking
daughter.
blue
I'm like, I
motherfuckers,
love
nigga.
unicorns. Fuck you
You was
guys.
drinking blue motherfuckers. You always like the unicorns.
Hey, those blue motherfuckers will fuck you up. Ask Chico. Ask
I
Chico.
know.
Oh, should I say
No.
ask Ramon?
Mami, dámelo and that big ass baby. Look, you know the metal stuff that you made me hot cocoa in, that cup, that mug, whatever that shit is.
Let's get it, guys. Let's get it. What are we playing?
Yeah, I got a daughter and a son. My daughter's
Oh,
obsessed with
fuck you.
unicorns and My Little
Search and
Pony.
destroy.
Oh, this is a new map?
ID. Grab the bomb and just...
Oh my god, they remade this?
You got lucky. How the fuck you get so lucky?
Mic off.
Oh!
Mic on.
Bro, this map looks so polished.
Fucking sniper
Huh?
straight across.
This guy got
It
lucky.
looks good, don't
It does.
it? Told you.
My
Didn't want to
god. You know, they're doing the same thing they did with Call of Duty Mobile. They're bringing all the... Oh, this guy's all on it.
Oh shit. Oh, you playing Search and Destroy?
Yeah, I didn't even know either. Oh, there was one right there.
Back.
Yeah, I know. I think I ran out of fucking ammo.
Watch your right, bro.
I got
Somebody
the
to the
one.
left.
There's a
Less than a
claymore there.
minute.
Oh, he can't hear me.
Who, me?
But I
We're
can
in
shoot.
a party.
In the bomb. Secure the area. Bomb planted. Start the clock.
Man, this map throws
Reload.
throwbacks.
You guys are still
All the way
alive,
over
bro?
here. He's over here. Damn it!
Where is he at? Where is he at?
He's in the back room. Oh, y'all plan it?
Yeah, it's planted.
Just
There's one's going to the bottom. On your left, Chaos. Oh! You got headphones on, bro?
Yeah, I do, but you told me way too late.
Well, what about your headphones? They didn't tell you?
No, I can't hear it.
Oh, you gotta bump that volume up, bro.
Keep it.
No. I got the little man right here
Yeah.
next to me. Damn, and I had a claymore where he was just at that he came through to kill me.
Okay.
Search and
Check it out.
destroy.
Okay, let's keep it up. Let's go, boys. No, I ain't gonna lie. I got wrecked. Hardcore.
You got wrecked.
We
Bro,
have
I
the bomb.
got blasted.
Ooh, snipe, nigga.
Yo, it's so weird playing this map, bro. I feel like I went back 10 years ago.
God, I'm dying.
Damn, he got
killed
both of
y'all
us.
niggas. Damn, he got two of y'all niggas. I killed one.
Mic off.
Trix is just chilling.
Mic on.
Oh no, we got this, bro.
This board looks pretty
Less
tight,
than
though.
a minute.
Yeah, this was the old school Call of Duty map, bro.
Bomb is in play.
I ain't
Attack
hit
the
this
weapon
one.
caches.
No, we got our asses whooped.
It's all up to you now. The squad's counting on
Yeah,
you.
that's an understatement.
Go give me a cup of soda. Shit.
30 seconds. Time's up. Move your asses.
Not gonna be able to do anything.
Take a breath. We're going back in. Search and destroy.
All right, bro. That's it. We gotta do this, bro. Appreciate you coming in there, Speedy. All right, let's go.
Retrieve the bomb and hit those targets. Bomb is in play. Attack the weapon caches.
Oh shit!
Oh!
That was my fault.
My bad. I'm over here fucking eating donuts and shit.
Nothing wrong with that, bro. As long as you eat that donut and go, don't!
No.
Ouch.
You still alive?
Just Speedy.
Less than a minute.
He getting it in.
I got his back.
Hey,
That's because this
better
is
mission level.
this is a legendary map, though. Oh, right there. Nice.
I think it's on easy mode for him.
Oh, Speedy got that dead silent. That's the way to go. But let's keep quiet so you can hear.
I can't hear
30
anything
seconds.
anyways.
Oh, shoot.
Time's up. Move your asses.
Oh! Nah, you know what? They had dead silent on, too.
Put it behind you. We got work to do.
Yeah, I seen him late. If he would have been a little bit farther, and he came out through there, I would have had him.
Speedy, they said that you were going to go in the toilet. You were, like, walking right by the bathrooms in the game. That's hilarious.
That I was
Switching
gonna go to the
sides.
toilet. I don't hide.
Search and destroy.
Mic off.
I'm the opposite.
Mic on.
Assets
Right.
identified. We need to keep them intact.
Oh, good, man.
Bacon is done. Yeah.
Alright. Let's see. I'm still here. Where you at?
No!
Oh, you done got killed, nigga.
The sniper moved.
Man, it sound like a war.
Oh, my God. Thirsty, man. Somebody grab this boy a Sprite. Grenade, flashbang, smoke grenade. Oh, my God.
Fucking war zone, huh?
Bro, I got like a 12-pack of grenades at me, bro. That's crazy. It's okay. It's 2-2 right now. We got this.
Mic off.
What am I supposed to do with all those grenades? What am I supposed to do?
30 seconds.
What?
Time's up. Move your
Got
asses.
into no shit.
Crazy. How you been, Magic? Bro, I never got your friend request, bro. What's going on with that?
It's too much
Bomb
talking.
planted
What
on
the heck is going on with that?
You don't need that. You.
Yeah, well, if I die, I die.
Way to go.
Yeah, that's a snipe.
They're making us fight for it. Keep at them.
Shiny ass light. That's all these little camping ass niggas
That's all
do.
you see.
Little baby campers.
That's the one that got me.
Search and destroy.
Did they what? It didn't work. I typed the best I can. Oh, yeah.
Locations
Yeah, I don't know, bro.
confirmed. Defending them is critical.
I really don't know what's happening there.
Fuck!
Something ain't right.
I'm over here eating donuts. This motherfucker walking by himself.
Friendly UAV overhead.
On the bright side,
Enemy
I
care
got
package
I get
inbound.
to enjoy my bacon.
My character's walking to the wall.
Enemy UAV overhead.
We gotta be careful here, guys.
Enemy bombing Alpha. Get over there.
Depending on Wherever the bomb is.
Hold on, bro. Hey, hold on.
Around the other dude.
I know there was 2 dudes over here.
The boondog dude ain't moving.
Moving now.
Now, kind of late.
You're all we've got. Keep moving. One round gone.
Wasn't much I can do. We didn't have much time. The other guy, he wouldn't move, man. He just stayed there. I didn't want to.
Yeah.
Oh,
Move right into that fucking sniper gun.
only in Call of Duty. All
Destroy.
right, let's go.
Alright, man.
Come on,
Done
man.
playing with these
Come on,
turkey
man.
Asset locations confirmed.
I don't like
Defending them is
search and destroy.
critical.
You're the one that picked it.
I didn't pick it. It's just randomized. Just random.
Yeah, I'm not taking the
Oh,
bait.
shit. Everybody and mama in that bitch.
Enemy bomb at Alpha. Get open. Enemy counter UAV online.
Oh, shit. How the fuck did he come from that side?
You're all we've got.
Yeah, it's only you, Trix.
They're making a spy
Yeah.
point. Keep at them. Switching sides.
This is it. I need one more.
Search and destroy.
Man, I like Surge. Just I don't know about this match too much.
Retrieve the bomb and hit those targets.
Equipment.
Enemy UAV overhead. Bomb is in play. Protect the carrier. Enemy Wilson deployed.
Oh,
Enemy precision airstrike. Take cover.
Oh, shit.
Right. Go get out of there.
You're the last one.
You got a
Watch your
little tank
ass.
thing in the inside.
Care
Right,
package
right
arriving
into,
on station.
you know, Wally and shit.
Roger that. Nomad 2-1 en route to drop off.
Yeah, gave you position.
Get out.
Damn it. Can't hear nothing. God, all I heard was the damn announcer.
Not gonna take it lying down.
I hate that. How do I turn this damn guy off? Dialogue? Take it down a bit.
Showing off. That nigga put his gun to the side.
How the hell you get that scope and I haven't got that scope?
Yeah, it's one of the later ones you unlock.
What do you mean one of the later ones? I've already unlocked all my...
Oh, certain guns get them.
rifles.
I think it's an SMG, or just certain guns. I don't know which ones in particular. I think
Those are M4 carbine.
yeah, I was gonna say the M4 is one of them. I know in the campaign when you played it, you actually get to use it too.
So how bad are your fingers missing the PC there, young man?
Shit, I'm missing it a lot, bro. I know I'll be doing way better right now.
No, I know. So you gotta get used to it though, man.
I don't know, man. I just feel like limited. Like my aim is all on this joystick, and it's like I like my palm better than my thumb trying to do everything. I gotta do thumb push-ups again. You know, I do hand push-ups when I'm doing like, you know, mouse and keyboard. I gotta do thumb push-ups for my joysticks.
What's now you're just over here with your wrist on the handle of the fucking remote.
Give me a second, hold on. What's the sad music, man? This music's like sad and depressing. Seriously, lead the party again like a dummy?
Yo, yeah.
My bad, bro. I did the same thing again, man. Left the party by accident. Come on, man.
Yeah. In the party was, don't lie.
Right. He said these niggas can't hear
Yeah,
nothing with
these
these niggas.
Yeah. Hold up, this is a new map? Oh, new map?
I don't know.
I don't know this one.
All of you.
I don't know what the hell this. Oh, don't tell me this is that bullshit ass one with the. Yep, it's that bullshit ass one. Is this a new one? No, this ain't the one with all those RTA buses and fucking.
Looks different. I know what it is.
Nah, this is it. Yeah. Should have grabbed the sniper.
That's what I grabbed. Oh no, I'm doing it.
I got you right now.
Team
Look out.
deathmatch.
Right here. You
Got
see it?
enemy inbound. Lock and load.
You see it? Where you at?
Mic on.
Where you at?
Yup, man, I'm Kian.
Oh, you're right here. Okay, I'm about to
Yeah, I'm right
kill
here.
myself. How do I? You got a grenade?
Bro, what the fudge is that?
You got a grenade?
And four fucking
Here.
Fucking
more
more
sets.
accurate than my sniper rifle? Like
Where you
this
at?
shit.
Behind you, bro. Or that works too.
Man. There you go. You got it?
I'm about to in a sec.
Somebody back here?
Under fire.
Got control.
Where am I hearing guns?
Because you're hearing them.
I don't know. I have ones in my very edge.
We've lost the lead.
Okay, I finally got your sniper. What is
Did you
this?
get it?
Yeah.
Alright, yeah. How do you see through it?
Yeah, it looks pretty good. It's the Grossi now. Yeah, I don't think I have this.
Somebody's fucked. The dockside coming into the spawn.
Copy that, 1099
Right
over.
side chaos.
Damn. I'm over here looking at dude's gun that he dropped. It's got a fucking thermal thing on it. Pretty tight. Bitch ain't gonna give me that time.
Enemy counter UAV online.
Damn, I was over here changing my loadout.
Boom! Double kill with that sniper. Alright. And I'm low on ammo. Bro, you gave me a gun with only like 4 bullets, really?
No, I had a whole clip.
There's one more over there on the right side.
Damn it. I got already.
I got him, I think.
I'm over here fucking around too much. What's going on? This game is moving pretty fast here. I'm not even doing nothing. Behind you. Behind Speedy.
Fuck, I'm trying to snipe. Ooh, he almost got me. I can climb on the roof. Somebody underneath.
Whee! Copy that.
This nigga in this shotgun, man.
Oh no, the shotgun
Friendly
respects
UAV
it.
overhead.
It's nasty. Somebody's going towards you.
Yeah, I've been doing bad, bro.
You've taken control.
Damn it. Are you serious?
Oh my god. Yeah, I think I've literally only got one kill in this whole thing.
Come on!
The regular mode.
That damn slide.
Nigga, I just building shit. Most of the times I was bullshitting. Now that I'm actually playing, I'm getting cracked. That and I usually camp with a sniper on this one. I'll go
Thank you, whoever got him.
I did. One dude that was on top of the bus.
Yeah, that's him when I got it.
Good copy. Nomad 2-2 on approach for drop.
Claymore set.
You serious? How the fuck was nigga landing all the way from
Got a personal radar drone ready for escort.
Yeah, he was thirsty for my care package. That's what you get.
We're in control.
Got your back.
Friendly counter UAV active.
Got him. Watch a Trix or somebody right there in there.
Yo.
Oh, snap.
Got him. I got him.
I don't know if you
Changing
got
Care package arriving on station.
because you're all the way over there.
The house is cleared. I just
Alright.
killed the dude inside.
Enemy at the shipping area.
Hey, Chaos are you Tony?
Request recon flyover.
Roger that. Nomad 2-1.
Copy. Jaguar 3-0 inbound for personal radar coverage.
The last time we talked, I was like, damn.
Allied cruise missile away. Advanced UAV ready for fire.
Yeah, no, I'm like,
Copy.
damn,
Advanced UAV entering the AO. Scanning for
I could
hostiles.
listen to your voice, but I didn't want to say nothing. And then, you told me,
Got you, connard.
I was like, oh shit. Oh, bad, because I didn't really say nothing. I was just like, what's up?
Oh, keep fighting. Got a sentry gun on station. Personal radar's been shot down. Emergency airdrop. Advised, advanced UAV is bingo fuel. Returning to base.
Yeah.
That's good.
Crazy, guys.
Yeah.
Playing Call of Duty.
Right.
Video games, they save lives.
My
Right.
God.
Dude, I'm running behind them. I'm literally behind these motherfuckers.
Yeah, well, you know what? How about this, guys? Let's gather up. Let's gather this EJOS. Speedy, get on me. Tell Chaos, where you at, bro?
Oh, all you guys are in here?
Oh, no, I don't.
We all
I'll
gonna
get in
gather
after
and
this
we all
match.
gonna die. And they're gonna take the supply drop because Joe wanna do all this
Roger.
action.
Nomad 2. Multiple drops on the way.
You guys beat me on your team. You guys are crazy.
Damn, this fucking sniper. We gonna find out. Get on, man.
Oh, I'm on right
One
now.
of the supplies that you're gonna
Advanced UAV ready for flyover.
Well, here, this will help you guys out.
Hey,
Copy.
somebody run the
Advanced
boat.
Scanning for hostiles.
Just gotta get warmed
I
up.
said, don't try and that's a good time.
Yeah, I don't want to talk shit yet. I gotta warm up.
Enemy
I
at the center.
just started pretty much playing this
We
shit.
both know you ain't got the skills.
Ooh.
With me, Speedy?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, Speedy. You know better than that, bro.
Ah,
Oh, behind you.
Be advised, advanced UAV is bingo fuel. Returning to base.
Me? Oh, the last time we played was either me or the girl. You know it was up there. I know why. Is that what it is?
My God.
no! I'm trying, guys. I'm trying. Actually, guys, for coming from PC, I'm doing all right on the controller.
I think Speedy doesn't like playing with me. because I'm not
Enemy at the
good at
hazmat building.
Oh.
No, you're not. Ruben.
Oh.
Behind that,
Ruben's-
that concrete
Ruben's
wall.
alright.
No, Ruben's pretty good, bro.
Yeah, I just started playing.
He's got.
Friendly counter UAV active.
I mean, he usually gets.
So we all do that.
It's definitely like in the other Call of Duties.
I mean, you're gonna get higher rankings right now since I'm doing the fucking weapon skins.
Okay, here we go. Already excuses. Already.
Hey, no excuses.
I didn't even get in the
Less
game
than a
yet.
minute.
Oh, look, you
Keep
might-
it up, guys. The day's almost done.
Let's get rounds almost over, bro.
Done, and I don't even
Yeah,
gotta
they
reach for the
camping
game.
inside
Enemy UAV
that
overhead.
house.
You know,
We're up by 10, so we good.
not
I haven't tried the
saying I'm
scar.
the best. I'm not trying to be cocky, but you know, I am pretty nasty in this game.
If I let you.
You got me better.
Yo,
I'm getting my window match right now.
qualified camper, bro.
Damn, you got his.
Time's up.
Damn.
Move your asses.
Ooh, wee.
Man, it's funny hearing Speedy talk all this crap, but
Don't you miss it? Don't you miss
the last few games we played together, he wouldn't say a peep. He was on top.
it? Not you.
You wouldn't
what
say
you
a
talking
peep.
about?
Enemy cluster strike incoming. Take cover.
Oh,
You're moving over there on top. Better. Look at this piece of crap.
Mission
sniper.
accomplished. Top marks.
Man, I can hard.
you hear this guy with the excuses?
Yeah.
You have to use the sniper. You have to get 35 with assault, 35 with SMG, 35 with
You
a
should be good. You should.
Look at that chaos. I came up top.
Ham with that thing.
3.17.
Sniper. You know how hard it is to
Snipers
make
are one-hit
to
kills.
catch somebody that don't move to get a shot, and then they move the
Oh,
engine
okay,
like
yeah.
a miss.
You know what, guys?
Tell everybody to stand still.
Let's do this the easy way. Let's play the next round, and let's put actions to work.
Right, come on, join
Look, I
the
need-
join the party.
I need 14 more kills with the sniper
Oh,
rifle. Fucking shit.
Come on,
I
join
just don't
the
wanna-
join the.
I just don't want to jump out of this game real quick because we're winning. Oh, damn it. I was
that-
Have you
that
done
way.
any of those?
Alright, never mind. I'll go ahead. I'll jump in your guys' game. Never mind. Alright.
It's
Right.
that easy, huh?
I won't make y'all wait because it's still the game just
You ready
started.
to finish the first weapon mastery thingy?
Man, we better win, guys, because I just left a game
You
that
joining?
I was winning. Yeah, I'm joining now.
You heard, Ralph?
What's up?
You already did those weapon challenges, like the weapon mastery, the infantry, shock, and are we well equipped?
I did some of them.
You did some of them? I just
Yeah.
noticed them today.
What time is it? We might get Gordo on in a little bit, Speedy, if he gets on.
8 o'clock.
Yep.
I'm not gonna get mine.
But we all know that
Hey, y'all,
MVP of the
y'all
squad is
all
me,
chicks.
so. Oh, this is a new map, man. It's very close in.
Hey, we're that CWD clan, bro.
Chicks with dicks playing.
Get ready to blast everywhere, cause these motherfuckers gonna come from every direction, Ralph.
Huh?
Oh, wait,
Is this
what?
level yet?
What the? What is
What's
this?
that?
It's
Crash?
small. It's very small.
Oh, this is the Modern Warfare map.
I'm running right
Oh.
out.
Team deathmatch.
I don't remember if fucking
Enemy
it's okay.
threat from the AI. We're in control.
Oh, this is gonna be tough, bro. This map.
One got his regular core.
Damn, bro. The spawns in this map? Forget it.
Yo, this
Well, like right
This is Nuketown. Or what was it, Rust?
Just watch your corner.
got this nigga right in the neck.
This map is chaotic, bro.
Inbound.
What the? It is, bro. This map is memories.
Halfway there. Keep fighting. Friendly UAV overhead.
We got it right here. Right behind y'all. Speedy,
Allied
behind
inbound.
Behind, it's everywhere.
you. No, over there.
Stay focused. Friendly UAV
That's what I
overhead.
keep saying over there.
They're active by the wrong station.
I you literally.
You're right. It's so funny how it works. Damn it! I ran out of ammo. I got so many kills. I had to die. Man, that was fast.
There's win.
God, he probably not worse. I was scared though.
Hey, Ralph. I thought you said I came at the bottom of the list.
I was going in, bro.
Trix is going in.
And I wasn't even using my weapon.
I got zero.
That was a
I
crazy
didn't
match.
contribute, and I did
Told you.
distribute.
Now, back in the day, you couldn't win the map that fast because you didn't have all the gear and gadgets like today.
It wasn't bad.
That-
That map was just too crazy. I wasn't ready for that shit.
That was
It's
tight.
gonna get crazy. I played it earlier
Oof.
after the update. I was like, holy shit, how the fuck are you supposed to kill people here?
Right, you spawn to get like shot in the butt cheeks.
Shotgun.
Shotgun ain't even good for that match. You gotta reload too much.
By the time, exactly, you want something with an extended clip.
Why is this menu music so depressing? Like it sounds like the end of the world Fallout type soundtrack.
Hey, Rafi got the unicorn too.
Oh man.
Ralph, you gotta take it off, man. You gotta take it off.
Hmm?
You gotta take the unicorn off. The unicorn is mine.
Alright.
I call dibs.
Alright. Alright, fine. It's kind of gay, anyways.
Hey! I don't care. It's fucking awesome.
That was the fastest Call of Duty match I've played so far.
Yeah, that's a crazy match. That's faster than Newtown.
That should have been
Dude, that should have been
free for all.
Alright, let's go. Move it.
Enemy threats in the AR. Weapons on.
Claymore set.
We're in the lead.
For blood,
Enemy at the construction site.
I'm gonna let you get ahead of me.
Sniper up top. Watch it.
I got a sniper.
Oh,
Yeah,
we
he's
got
straight across from you.
Oh, that's he's mounted to the left. That's why.
Yeah, I shot him. I don't care. I got an assist, nigga.
Cover my back.
And assist is good enough. Where you at?
Running in.
Cover your back, nigga. I don't even see
Enemy at the construction site.
Come on, poke out.
There's a
Oh,
clear.
it's a clean dot. Oh, that's
Claymore set.
Oh, I see you, Trix.
Oh yeah.
This ain't no sniper.
Allied cruise missile away.
We're back.
It's just fucking.
Close in the area.
Okay, holding it down.
Got him. I don't know
Claymore
who he's shooting
set.
at, but I got him. Damn. You got two to your fucking right. Damn, the dude was just sitting there. He let me kill this dude. I just seen the replay, right? The playback.
Yeah.
This dude, I thought it was a dead body. I walk over him. I'm on top of him. His partner. Then I walk off. Then he wants to kill me. What type of shit is that?
Enemy at the run stop.
Might be a little camping match here.
Fuck, watch the left side of the construction. Fuck, my ass. I hate this shit.
Oh.
Steps.
Oh, so that's another way up here.
Friendly
That's
care
a-
package
Claymore
inbound.
set.
Friendly UAV overhead.
Enemy at the barber shop.
They're down.
another window in here?
Who let the dogs out? He barks.
Friendly care package inbound.
Blue fucking dude. Stop going that way. Somebody underneath us.
Damn, I can't.
Whoever's next to me should check our 9.
Watch your left, Speedy.
Behind.
Yep, I got a Claymore there. Oh, Claymore got him.
Fuck!
But they did an update today on the game, so it might accidentally went to like regular settings.
Claymore set.
Be advised, friendly precision airstrike inbound.
Indian sprint.
Friendly UAV overhead.
Got him.
Good job.
Enemy at the barber shop.
Oh shit, they're all behind us.
There.
Yeah, that's the reason I turned this one. Watch those stairs going to the top.
Enemy at the gun shop.
Friendly
Claymore
shield
set.
In the
turret
house.
deployed.
You see him?
Enemy personal radar in the air.
Who's with me in this building?
It's me.
Enemy UAV overhead.
One's coming up. Oh, you got me. Dang it. Ow. Ah, you gotta get sit rep because you can't see. Oh, okay. I see giant laser red beams.
Fuck, why are you always coming up the stairs, you little mother? Oh, this nigga over here.
Enemy in the bazaar.
We're halfway there. Keep fighting.
Hate you like that.
I'm in the building with you, bro.
Holy shit, you got some loud ass toes. I mean, loud booty toes.
Toes?
One's coming up, one's coming up.
What kind of toes you been hearing? They're fucking loud. Thought it was a foot that makes the noise, not the toes.
Got some J's on them toes.
I knew you were up there. I
Did he
knew you
kill
were
you,
fucking
bro?
camping.
Nah, I got him.
Where the hell did you go?
I went downstairs. Hey, bro, I got you on something here. Take these.
Enemy at the construction
Don't
site.
shoot me, same thing.
Take what? Oh, okay.
They're camping hard now.
Yeah, they camping.
Oh, they are, bro. But we got claymores all over. Let's go double claymore.
Double Claymore. I'm gonna put Claymore over here.
Copy that, Unit 327, over. They go spotted southbound at Northeast 69 gun shop.
Fuck, he was on top.
Yo, where are they? Yo, we're in the lead. We ain't got to rush.
I'm
Let's
not
go.
rushing, but I want to get that fucker that shot me.
Right. Damn, Chaos, your feet are loud.
Oh wait, no. Where's my gun? Where's my gun?
Oh.
Oh,
Gotcha.
Ooh.
He's in a place. Bitches.
Yeah.
Enemy cruise missile incoming.
Oh shit.
Care package arriving on station.
Yeah.
Friendly care package inbound.
Fucking wrestling moves on you and kill you.
Alright guys.
My bad, bro. One came downstairs, though, but I got him for you.
nigga suplex me. What the fuck? I didn't even know you could do that.
I did take him out for you, though.
Fuck! I didn't see that coming. They took me out.
Oh, double Claymore.
Hey.
Allied cruise missile away.
Not for nothing, but I've been using the sniper rifle. Majority of my teams are dealing with a sniper rifle.
One down there, bro.
Right behind
Behind us.
You need to invite him.
Man, I couldn't even hear.
How the fuck did he get in?
I gotta change the party chat volume a little bit. Give me a sec.
How did he get in? That don't make no sense.
Wow, get out, bro. It's your lucky self. Aim assist all day. Don't even touch me. Lucky I had a mouse in my hand. Would have been a cat trying to catch the mouse.
Not the nigga that shot a fucking RPG. I don't know who he was shooting at, but
Roger that. Nomad 2-1 en route for drop-off.
We've got a UAV on
I see
station,
this
ready for
pretty
flyover.
UAV entering the AO.
Can't find
fucking
it.
ran out of ammo. How the fuck? There's two dudes down here. Watch this. Mr. Tar, he's in that room. He's in there.
Less than a minute.
I'm gonna get this dude.
We're almost there. Let's bring it home.
Be advised, UAV is
Straight across. Damn. Fucking reload, man.
Woo!
30 seconds. Time's up. Move your asses. Friendly UAV overhead.
Can't do shit because you're fucking reloading.
Enemy at the crossroads.
Oh, some action.
I just got a bloodthirsty triple kill back here.
Enemy care package inbound. Be advised, friendly precision airstrike inbound.
Oh, shit.
That's how we do it.
Textbook, well done.
Damn, how did I pass you?
I didn't do that good.
Me neither, bro.
How did I still pass you? I shot
Look at that little slide.
Yeah. But I.
How did you get past me, dude? My kill death ratio is way higher than yours. You're still like
with my skills,
You're using
man.
cheese and fucking. What the fuck?
Oh man.
Coach, what would I need cheat codes?
Bro, I called in like 4
That
times.
nigga got them old school Mario
help you
remotes
guys.
and shit.
Alright.
Hold up, Ramon is the one that's always been with the mod remotes and all that shit. How
No,
me?
and now he don't have one. Ain't that some shit? He got a modded mouse now, nigga.
Which is deadlier.
This
Right.
dude McNags got 24 kills. The motherfucker didn't call a single kill, a fucking kill or score streak.
Nah, you know why? He probably had the
That's like the ones with claiming that you gotta kill and claim your kills.
right.
Those motherfuckers
Yeah.
have like
I
15
contributed. Hey,
kill
I contributed.
confirms and
I
4
contributed
kills.
to my team. Yeah, I called in two. I called in 2 AUVs for you guys, so you could find.
I called
Yeah.
3 AUVs.
And I called on God because I had prayed that we won because I was doing bad. I was like,
Sorry, we still won. That's all that matters. Speed
Right.
to compete with me because he knows I'm always usually.
Come on,
the
I'm making the
better
game
player,
better. I get you motivated.
I'm just getting warmed up. This is like my 3rd game, bro.
Ooh.
You've been
What are you
playing this shit
talking about?
probably all
I'm already warm up after my
afternoon.
Ooh.
1 minute
You're
into
freshly
the game.
You're freshly warmed up, bro. Don't let me get hot. Don't let me get hot. I'll get up there with like 40 kills in the game. Like I did last time.
This ain't- No, fuck you, right?
this is
You're not. You're shitty.
I can't believe
Team deathmatch. Enemy
Yeah.
threats in the AO.
disappointed in
Weapons
me,
top.
bro. I thought you were better than this. Like you didn't talk shit. Like for 2 weeks we've been playing, you didn't say a word.
Claymore set.
And
I needed people to
wasn't
play.
bragging. Every game, bro, I was on top of the team or top
Damn.
3,
Hey,
and
first death.
I did not brag. I didn't
You
brag.
heard? I needed
didn't say
people to
nothing.
play now. We got
Hey.
Taking fire.
You're talking mad.
Ooh.
Man, you gotta get more kills. I'm using the sniper rifle.
Oh, he said you're colder than ice and hotter than spice.
Enemy at the shop.
We've got control.
Damn, who the fuck just sniped?
Yeah, this is a very snipey level, so be careful.
Yeah, I fucking ran out in the motherfucking cornfield and just got took it out.
Enemy at the
Friendly
courtyard.
UAV
That's right
overhead.
about right. Fuck!
What the hell?
I can't fucking get my SMG like my sniper rifle like a
What up with my dog?
rifle.
Who's next?
What's up
Yeah, I
with
heard
real
your
niggas?
footsteps.
Enemy at the buses.
Hey, got one too, bye.
Claymore set.
There's one on the
Oh,
second floor.
wow.
I don't know where.
Is that Speedy? Okay, then what's up, Speedy?
What up?
Better cross, watch it. He just went in the store.
Yeah, watch it, Speedy. Bottom down the stairs. He's in the subway.
Downstairs, man. Up, down, down.
Yep.
Yeah, up, down.
I'm on your 6, bro.
Nobody down here.
No, he moved.
Yeah,
Careful.
unlimited bullets.
Yeah.
Watch your right.
He's around.
Up, down, RB, man. You get unlimited bullets.
Look at you trying to put some twist the middle 2 cheat codes.
You need bullets. I fucking run out of bullets.
Oh God. These mofos.
Got me dead scope.
These guys getting lucky. I'm about to switch my input device in a minute.
Yeah, how come every person,
Oh, this is that spot with the second floor. There's somebody upstairs.
Man.
There's a Claymore.
low?
Somebody over.
Watch. Oh, wait. Stand back.
Watch it. You move out of
So
my
you
way. I
gotta do
could've shot it.
sniping from
Maybe
out there.
there's
another one.
I guess he must have heard you.
What am I supposed to
Oh, you got it?
get that Claymore?
Oh, well, that got it for us. Oh no, it didn't. There you go. Now you go.
How the fuck?
Friendly UAV overhead.
I don't understand how
More
shit
people
here.
here. Oh, I'm by myself.
50 million
Oh no.
Enemy down.
Wow. God damn, bouncing betties. You son of a biscuits, man.
My house. Get out.
Can't get a good streak.
Oh no.
Me neither, bro. This is one of the bad maps. It's a good map if you're playing one life modes, but for TDM, not so much.
We're
Oh,
in
that was my
control.
dumbass that fucking worked.
It's literally a 1-lane map.
Watch it, somebody fuck.
Oh shit, I saw it.
What are you guys playing?
Oh, what's up, Skits? My bad, bro.
Damn.
What's
he got
up, bro?
me, got me,
What?
got me.
Oh shoot.
Not yet.
Friendly shield
do the
turret
update.
deployed.
Oh no, you good?
A little bit, but
Yeah, I'm playing on a controller, bro. I suck right now.
control is the best.
No, I like the aim assist. I ain't gonna lie, but I don't know, bro. I'd rather have precision than just luck.
Enemy precision airstrike. Take cover.
Nothing's wrong with my thumb.
I got you. Oh shit.
You gotta take a what?
Come on, man. What the fuck are they spawning all the way over there? I can't do shit from here.
Who got a rubber
Enemy
ducky?
at the buses.
I was saying, I just
How'd they get rid of that?
Fuck, I hate a sniper rifle.
Enemy
Oh,
careful.
one's coming in. One's coming in. Oh, Claymore got him over.
We're losing ground.
fucking
Step it up.
camping
Claymore got him over.
ass. These motherfuckers, all they do is lay down, man.
Like fucking 10 more shots with the
Oh,
sniper
they
rifle.
just,
I can't get him.
bullet.
Claymore set.
Yeah, who you trying to? Oh, damn, they're in that house. Watch out to your left. There's 3 of them.
Enemy's halfway there. Step it up.
Yeah, they're pushing in from the left. Careful. Look over there, chaos.
Oh, I got me again.
I hear somebody else.
Where the fuck did I just spawn to?
Hostiles in the area.
Shit, this shit just spawned me all over the back of the map.
Damn. I knew he was hiding inside the subway, man. like I had a thing.
There's one heading around here.
Why wouldn't a camper hide in there?
What's up? Yeah, let's see where you guys are.
Enemy near Main Street.
Yeah.
Try to make my way over.
By the statue.
There! I've got
And a
movement.
couple, one or two back.
There's a fucking cheap shot.
They're coming back in. They're coming back in.
Easy.
Oh,
Oh, no way.
Enemy in the courtyard.
Didn't even hit
Got
me.
you.
It hit the fucking.
Nope.
It hit the fucking ceiling of the building.
Enemy care package inbound. Got a sentry gun on station. Emergency airdrop on your mark.
You just shot at me? No, that was.
Damn it! Are you but RPG me? Come face me one-on-one, boy!
Dude just ran right into him.
Yo, what's up, Billy? How are you, bro? Hey, what the heck of shenanigans is going on?
Mic on.
Man,
Enemy in the courtyard.
you guys really know what we need right now, though?
Monsters.
I know exactly what we need, though. But I'm gonna need your guys' help.
Some Adderall.
Ah, man.
Some regular.
We need some of this.
Roger. This is Nomad 2. Multiple drops on the way.
I can't hear you. Hold on.
Roger that. Nomad 2-1 en route to drop off.
So we're not.
There was 2 to 3 people at the radio spot that you were in.
Get these drops.
Enemy at the bus.
Cruise missile, go for launch.
Those drops, guys. Get them, get them. They're all coming in for the drops.
Enemy at the
UAV
top.
overhead.
Nice shot, good kill.
Me, bro.
I see you creeping, scared me.
Friendly shield turret deployed. Cruise missile, go for launch.
Got one.
This is Jack 1-0. Missile away.
Yeah, I'm doing all right on the controller, though. I ain't gonna lie. I'm doing all right.
Nice shot, good kill.
Enemy near Main
Friendly
Street.
UAV overhead.
Somebody gonna get the other one? Who got the other one?
Oh, they're all gone.
Let's go.
Alright, I'm about to lay back here and I'm gonna use this.
Friendly,
Enemy at the bus.
friendly VTOL on station for sentry guns down. Friendly UAV overhead.
Changing mags.
Nacho bitch ass.
Allied cruise missile away. Friendly UAV overhead.
That's terrible. That shit.
Claymore set.
How you doing, bro?
Yo, there's a motherfucker right here that's not coming out.
This is
Changing mags.
He's down.
This motherfucker don't want to come out of this shit.
Right. They hiding hardcore, bro.
They better. My veto wild.
Drops on mark.
Yo, this
Send the
motherfucker's
package.
hiding right here.
Good copy. Nomad 2-2 on approach for drop.
less than a minute.
How you doing?
Outstanding. I expect nothing less.
It's about time you do something, damn.
Okay, Mr. Atari.
Sniper rifle got paid. Using a sniper rifle like I'm don't want me on top with a sniper rifle because you're not gonna hear the end of it.
I'm doing all right, guys. I'm doing all right, actually. You know what I'm saying? I'm actually doing okay, right, Magic? What do you think, bro? Think I'm doing good? Thumbs up on that one or no?
Oh.
Mic on.
Ooh.
Acapulco. Nigga, you still know Acapulco, Bono?
No, I misheard.
You know how to say that, nigga.
Am I done with the sniper?
Yo, hey,
Fuck you,
remember
sniper.
nigga sharing
Yeah.
is caring, nigga. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Wong.
Yeah, I'm not the leader.
Alright, miss. Mr. Tari wants to get on. Can we just
Let's
check
go.
real quick?
Yeah, yeah. And
5 people. You want me to exit out?
what happened to?
No, just yeah, back out real quick.
Back out? Alright.
Yeah.
Alright.
Cool.
Let's go.
Alright.
She gonna make me look bad.
Right.
Is what? Is what?
Said she gonna make me look
Oh, okay.
bad.
Hey, never mind. Don't.
She makes Rob look
It's
bad.
up. Her Xbox is updating.
Okay. Oh yeah. Update. What happened to Skits though? Did he leave?
You can go ahead and run it.
Hold on. Wait. Hold on. Where the Skits? I can't even talk. Did Skits leave the party?
Skits is still there.
Oh yeah, it shows him offline, so I can't even invite him. We can do 6 players, right?
It says he's still in the party though.
Yeah.
I'm still here. I'm waiting on the update.
Oh shoot. Okay.
I probably got to turn my stuff back on. It probably says I'm offline.
Yeah, it does.
Oh.
You put the camouflage. You put the magic carpet on. We can't see you, bro.
Give me Mario Carpet. In the ass.
What are you guys playing? Team Deathmatch?
Speedy over
Yeah.
there talking smack like he's
It says I got 2 minutes.
I am raw. I don't know about you, Ralph.
Yeah.
What
He's over there
rank are you
talking
in?
like
What rank
he
are you
hasn't
in?
said he didn't say anything all week. Smack.
I wanted, before you decided to kick me out of the
Why
group,
did you answer?
give you a couple of days of break.
Oh no, Speedy. It looks like you gave him some shot of adrenaline rush. Like all that stuff you were saying got into a syringe.
This is what I do.
Oh man.
Yeah, I mean he was talking all that smack, Ramon. So I had to, he lit a fire in me, bro.
Right.
I had to show him who's the boss.
I don't know, guys. Hey, what is that? We got PC players on here? Oh, but they're using controllers though. Doesn't mean they're not hacking.
Yeah, you can play against people on PC, but we'll only play against people depending on their input. We're only going to play with people we're playing with remotes.
Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Well, if I knew that, then I can set up macros for my controller and PC then. Right.
As they come online.
Shoot. Oh, shoot.
I got bacon.
Alright, I'm ready, y'all.
Wow. Well, like a donkey butthole for that one.
Enemy at the center.
Monkey butthole. That's a new one.
Ugh.
HQ is online.
As soon as you,
Enemy on the
as soon
HQ.
as you said that, I just thought of that song. Just eat it, eat it.
You're sucking my bacon. I'm down.
Ugh, I don't like pork, bro. Bad for you, man.
We have lost the HQ. Target sighted. Soldat, you have lost the lead.
What is this range game mode?
Right.
There's one by the tank, I think.
Giving you kills, activate a bomb countdown on your character. What the hell?
There's a guy on my team.
Shutting down the enemy HQ.
Yo, this bacon is banging.
Oh, my bad. Go ahead.
I keep calling you guys by your names.
I know, right? Why you gonna call me by mi nombre? Es mucho diferente now, man.
I know.
Somebody disabling something?
It's a privacy.
Yeah, that was the headquarters. No, you're good, bro. You're good.
Endangerment.
Right, yeah. I don't know about you, bro, but my cheeks are already red. I'm used to it. Let's go.
Oh no, I haven't died, so I don't know about everybody's ass.
Oh, man, you haven't got this. You haven't
Down the enemy HQ.
As long as you don't say much.
Oh man, I got 3 kills so far.
Disable it, guys. Let's go. Good.
Dude, I'm an idiot.
Enemy care package inbound. Get ready, we move soon.
Are you serious?
Running around the map.
Ah!
Trying to get my
Allied UAV overhead.
on a MP5.
Yeah, bro. MP5 is pretty good.
Yeah, just trying to mount kill with
Enemy
MP5.
UAV overhead.
I like 'cause, it's more of a run and gun type of weapon.
Hey, what?
Setting Claymore. Somebody right there, be careful.
Oh, he was right next to me too.
Enemy at the cafe. HQ is green. Get the move on. Securing the HQ.
Come on, man! I shot you right in the bull eyes. I don't count as a headshot? What the hell?
Oh, shit, I should have went. He was like staring down the line.
Epa, remember me?
AO is too hot. You'll redeploy with the next secured. Hold out as long as you can.
The hell? Did I just have something say weapon? Remember me?
Oh, it says respawn. And did it die?
What is going on?
Damn.
Get ready.
No! No way!
My God.
Yeah, no, I wasn't even.
That is some chihuahua poop, man.
I was like, is he dead?
Okay, I can't really
New HQ established.
like blasting me. I'm not.
Oh, you got killed by that dude?
I'm not
just
even.
shooting at?
Man.
The sniper guy. He
Oh my god. No scope.
turns around and like snipes me.
Allied precision airstrike incoming. Beware.
Just ran and just.
HQ is green. Get the move on.
Setting Claymore.
Oh, damn. Yo, it's Trix.
Oh my god.
I'm looking at 149. Hey,
They're
Trix,
capturing
I think
the HQ.
that's
Go.
why, 30 got taken away because
Capturing,
Trix
capturing.
took your shit. How the fuck do I just spawn and let somebody shoot it?
God dang it, I'm getting assists and it's driving me nuts. This carbine, I'm getting freaking hit markers. I'm getting mad. Wow, hit marker again. And an assist. I'm done.
Bro, this is bullshit. You see that video?
We're disabling the HQ. Enemy cluster strike. Take cover.
Watch the cluster.
Enemy UAV overhead. Location secured. Get ready. We move soon.
Copy that, copy that.
Alright, guys. I got a UAV. Let me know when you
Okay.
need it.
Oh shit.
Back off.
Shut up.
I'm trying to get
New HQ active. Move
Copy
out.
that. Let's wait for the HQ to be available. It didn't launch it up.
Roger that.
Copy that, 1099. This is Unit 69.
Behind us, man.
Set up, and then they all camp nice and.
Alright.
Anybody got a?
5 seconds for deployment. And I got a Harrier. Shoot.
HQ is online. Secure it.
About the heavy.
I'm making a run for it.
Man, these guys just saved my life.
Let me see if I can use my cruise bit.
Yeah, I can't do nothing.
They got that backup cover.
Allied
I
cruise
can't
missile
do nothing
launched.
with the Harrier.
There you go. Jets out. I used the cruise missile to take
Copy
it.
that. Going in.
HQ lost.
Right behind us.
Take this objective. Let's go.
Enemy precision airstrike. They've reached the halfway
The
point.
dude
Get
laying
moving.
down at the door.
Wow, man.
How we doing?
There's one on the roof, one by the trains. Man. That's the top there.
Location
It's
secured.
alright.
Get ready. We move soon.
Man, it was how the hell did you not see this? You should be ashamed of yourself.
Setting Claymore.
Motherfucker sure did.
Get to the next HQ.
Okay. Alright.
Sorry, I'm not contributing too much. I'm trying to get this.
Man, that car bomb.
Wow.
HQ is online. Secure it. Enemy on the HQ. Move in.
That was his tricks.
Bro. Got me good. I ain't gonna lie there.
He found out that's tricks.
HQ lost. Enemy at the tires. Allied cruise missile launched. Friendly care package inbound.
There's another dude right in front of you. Camping there. What the fuck?
Man, we're getting dominated on headquarters. I like we don't like headquarters sometimes, but
HQ contested.
some maps it's okay.
Disabling the HQ. Keep your eyes open.
Room is clear.
Can't kill that dude. This is the girl to the rest.
Location secured.
You can still come back.
Get ready. We move soon. Enemy at the cafe.
Oh my gosh.
HQ.
Enemy contact.
Reloading.
Alright. Start contributing a little more, sorry,
Allied cluster strike incoming.
Man, I jumped right over it.
Two active. Secured. Securing the HQ.
What the hell? Let me see this. Oh, you got through the window, no way. Come on, guys, you guys gotta do this.
Damn. Watch it,
Allied UAV overhead.
house and shit.
HQ lost.
Little shed looking thing that's next to it.
Really?
Enemy at the trench.
Oh,
Same nigga
Okay.
Die hard.
The objective is lost. We are not.
You couldn't move without dying.
Oh man, yeah.
For real.
Headquarters is hard.
5 times they should have fucking sniped.
damn, Ramon clone.
Right.
Damn, no scope.
Yeah.
That nigga.
Yeah,
Hey,
he-
let's send him a friend request.
It's got that new model controller. It came out in 2019, limited edition. Getting it in.
That's your son, nigga. That's a That's gonna be your son, nigga.
Man.
Hey, I'll be back, alright, guys.
Okay.
Alright. What kind of look like it?
You want me to exit out, go back in,
We gotta-
check this out at headquarters shit?
All right, what happened to Mrs. Harry and Skitch? You guys good? Or what's going on?
She's still updating.
Okay.
Mic off.
Gotta go
What about
back
you,
out,
Skids?
go back in.
Alright, guys, we gotta step it up. Speedy, man. Step it up. That was horrible.
I know.
No. Let's scared of me.
That match was so horrible. It's like me racing against Ralph and Ralph getting the whooping of his lifetime. That's what it was like.
Dude, I had an awesome score streak going, and then I ran in, and the sniper guy was in a little corner and fucked my score streak up. I was one
That's
kill
what-
away
that
from
sucks.
getting a veto.
That's what sucks. People hide too much.
Yeah.
But then you do it, they send you even nice little messages.
I mean, I do it to an extent. Like, you can't run in this game. You gotta be tactical and smart about it. But
Exactly.
I don't sit in one fucking spot for more than fucking 10 seconds or so.
Oh, and if you see me chilling in a spot, it's because I know everybody's gonna try to get me out of that spot.
Right. The only time I
God.
start slowing down is when I start building up a little
My
kill
God.
streak. And I don't want to
Exactly.
ruin it. So I'll start, camping out little spots here and there, but not for long.
Once you get the kill streak, get the fuck out of there.
Right.
Any of y'all seen the new Silent J? I mean, Jay and Silent Bob new movie?
Mic on.
No, I heard about it.
Don't come with the fucking Silent Hills, man. That fucking movie was so disappointing. They weren't even they weren't even horror.
This is a new map?
Remember Modern Warfare 1?
Go.
Headquarters. Capture and defend each HQ as it comes online. HQ identified. Secure the area.
Oh, what the?
Next level.
Modern Warfare 2?
Modern Warfare 1.
I mean... Oh, shit.
Claymore set.
Damn, he didn't remember.
HQ is green. Get a move on. They're capturing the HQ. Go.
Wasn't there like a desert? Like in the section?
It was
Enemy has captured the HQ.
Compact like it is right now.
You've lost the lead, soldier.
Oh, okay. I remember that. I definitely remember that warehouse.
Enemy at the warehouse.
Now you can go inside the building. That's what we're starting.
Oh, that's... Damn, I gotta remember. It's a little different, but...
Yeah.
HQ contested. Enemy UAV overhead. Disabling the HQ. Keep your eyes open.
Oh, yeah?
I'm assuming because I didn't see this map.
We've taken the HQ. Next HQ up in 10. Get ready.
It's probably Ottawa.
There. I've got movement.
New location
I
ID.
gotta roam this map a little bit to figure it out. Oh. Bro, I don't know where to go.
Enemy VTOL in the AO. HQ is green. Get them. Enemy on the HQ. Get over there. HQ contested. Hostiles in the air. Get over there. Enemy.
That hallway's hot.
I gotta hide inside the building.
Watch it. Vito's trying to shoot. I know you're over there, dude.
HQ contested.
Oh, that gun is slow as fuck.
Yeah, there's no way we're getting out with the Vito up there. Alright, coast is clear. Come on, guys. You gotta disable that. Damn, I knew there was gonna be someone way over there.
HQ disabled. Get ready to move out.
Damn,
Okay, get ready to move.
Yeah, sorry if I don't do too hot in this one, guys. I'm new to this map. Okay. Whoa.
UHQ established.
Oh my god. Oh, I got flashed. Oh, there was one in the doorway.
You're done.
I couldn't even do it.
I'm hit.
Oh my goodness. Man. getting wrecked.
Enemy at the office.
HQ is green. Get a move on. We're taking the HQ. Friendly UAV overhead.
Alright, capture headquarters. I'm securing headquarters. Need backup.
We secured the HQ. Stay alive.
Watch the doors. Good shit.
Shotgun gunner on approach.
Alright, I'm switching to that door.
Friendly UAV overhead.
I got the door covered.
No reinforcements available. HQ shut down.
Stuff, guys.
Okay, get ready to move.
Fuck!
Enemy UAV overhead. New HQ established. Changing max.
Oh! So, where is this guy?
HQ is green. Get a move on.
Enemy at the
Enemy
target.
on the AR. Enemy on the HQ. Get over there. Enemy on the HQ. Get over there.
Because you got it in the rank system
This is
if that
one
thing
of the
gets stuck, you're
original ones.
fucked.
HQ contested. Enemy UAV overhead.
That's a lot of spots. Tell me somebody has an RPG to take that before.
Enemy on the
Somebody's
HQ.
gonna help
Get
me
over
take care
there.
of the thing? Oh, I see why.
They've taken the HQ. Enemy's halfway there. Step it up.
Yep.
Come on. None of y'all got cold-blooded on? It's like I'm the only one trying to get the thing.
I'm still confused. Gotta go all the way around and shit. You got it?
Location secured.
Yeah, man. No call.
Okay, get ready to move.
Headquarters clear. Disable.
Enemy UAV overhead. New HQ established.
Were you at the headquarters? You clearing it?
I mean, I took it over.
Enemy personal
Then
radar in the air.
help over there. Nobody said. I mean, it's like the more people that are there, I know why you're messing with me. Don't look at the scoreboard.
HQ active. Move to secure. We're at the HQ. Stand by.
Dude,
Yeah, you definitely don't
I'm doing horrible.
We secured the
It's
HQ.
ridiculous
Stay
how
alive.
bad I'm doing. I had a chance to kill lined up and I missed.
Oh, that's the worst. I died at the beginning, so.
had a triple kill on my shots.
You better avenge me, bro.
No reinforcements available.
Ah, I have to reload.
You look good.
HQ disabled. Get ready to move out. Next HQ up in 10. Get ready. Friendly UAV overhead. New location item.
Alright, we gotta take this, y'all.
Enemy at the
Oh, what do you
courtyard.
think I've been doing? Fuck, there's one in there.
HQ active. Move to secure. We're at the HQ. Stand by.
Securing HQ. Come on, we're back up.
HQ secured. Hold out as long as you can.
Got it.
HQ contested.
Oh, shit. Damn.
No reinforcements available.
Damn it.
Enemy on the HQ. Defend.
Damn. We needed that. I can so
HQ disabled. Get ready to. Friendly UAV overhead. Okay, get ready to move.
But they can't see.
Oh, my bad, shit. Paranoid.
I wasn't shit like that to do with you. It was me.
There.
No, I shot at Ramon. Well, I didn't actually shoot. Like, I shot close to.
This is hard. I'm pretty sure all of them would have been dead.
There.
I probably would have had more teammate kills than actual kills.
That too.
HQ active. Move to. They're capturing the HQ. Go.
Bro, you like. Oh.
Lost the HQ.
What? 3?
HQ shutting down the enemy HQ.
The dude's by himself over there.
Enemy at the hazmat building.
Yeah.
What did you say? Are there,
We're getting hammered.
not looking good. Oh, whoa.
HQ captured.
You guys shot
Far down the
Next
road.
HQ up in 10. Get ready.
Enemy at the barrel.
Alright, I'll get used to this map.
Get to the new HQ.
He got up. He went there. Oh,
HQ is online. Secure. Enemy on the HQ. Get over there. Friendly UAV overhead.
Damn, already? I'll let him get it, I'll let him get it.
We've lost the HQ.
Enemy at the shipping area.
They already knew where that shit was at.
Pull back, soldier. Fight another day.
So what's up now, Ralph? Go ahead.
Huh? Come on, bro. You got 2 kills more than me.
Hey, she kills.
I got more captures, and
I got more defeases.
I had a very bad start, bro. If I would have been good from the beginning, I would have had like 40 something kills, at least.
I would have had like 55, 56.
I didn't even
try.
I was trying to figure out the map.
What happens when you don't remember?
Well, my team won.
Hey, you ready?
It's on 92.
Still.
It's taking forever.
92.
Oh.
Oh, you guys need new internet, man.
She's using the Wi-Fi though. In the Wi-Fi.
Oh, you at least running on the 5 GHz band. That Wi-Fi extenders to help the frequency range extended to make sure you get the full velocity. And then which ports are you using?
Well, I'm using wired, so my shit like does it. I have no issue. She's using the Wi-Fi.
Are you running 1 GHz internet port or 1 MHz? Or megabits? I'm sorry.
You know, I have the highest speed available time morning. I have to see what it is exactly.
You seen that they were doing?
All what you do is you go to speed. You just go to speed. Give it a test. How come I hear echo? Testing.
Right.
It just started. Testing. Your mama. I didn't fix shit because I didn't do shit. Been playing this shit the whole day like the same, and you haven't complained to now. But it's still blowing. I think he restarted his Xbox.
Mic off.
Oh shit. They got the M4 and the M16 mixed into one gun. Now I see where you use the carbine.
If we had one more person, I would have said you guys want to run a 2v2 real fast.
A what?
Speedy ain't ready though.
I don't want to embarrass you. I might have to let you win so you don't kick me out of the group.
I've heard that before. That's a good one. Not really.
Didn't we
testing. There we go.
And I whooped all of y'all? Yeah, I did.
What the heck happened, bro?
I don't remember that. That must have been a dream.
I remember that. You were part of the squad.
That was weird. There's something wrong with my cord. Don't tell me the cord's breaking.
All of y'all.
Oh no! Why is it breaking on me, man?
My tea party table.
He woke up.
And everything.
I can't hear you, dude.
That was the greatest
Stop.
dream I've ever had,
Just
man.
go.
I wish
No,
dream.
I'm pretty sure. I am pretty sure it wasn't this Call of Duty, and it wasn't Black Ops 3 either. But I remember one time they spot me in the
if it
opposite
was Black
team.
Ops, bro, like it definitely wasn't Black Ops.
No, I said not Black Ops 3.
I was a lion.
Yeah, I was a big fan of Black Ops. I really was, but not 3 and 4.
I was on the PlayStation.
Once they put jump packs, I was done.
Yeah, Infinite Warfare was like garbage, pure.
There you go, Chaos. Like I said.
Infinite, I couldn't stand that.
I can't hear you.
Advanced Warfare was okay, but I still hated that game because of the exosuits.
I like the exosuits. I remember one time I got like
garbage, bro.
35 punch kills.
That was the biggest.
Yeah, my bad about earlier. Yo, what's going on there, boy? My chat wasn't working, but now I see it now. How are you? What you doing?
Oh, let me guess.
Got the little Santa Claus. Got my little emoji going on.
The Black Ops series was a little bit better, yeah.
I
didn't like none of them.
Yeah, no, 1 and 2 was great.
Or Activision fucked up when they started doing those futuristic Call of Duties.
Yeah, again, exoskeletons.
That's when it fucked up for me.
Then they started bringing in loot crates and buy this, buy that. They brought in the gambling marketing lottery system. Yeah, and that too. Yeah, yeah. Pay to win and pay to look good. Pay to play good.
Who are we waiting for?
I don't know. Like our party just like disappeared. What the heck happened?
What do you mean?
I only see 3 of us.
Match.
Well, Eric is what percent are you at?
Oh, we lost Chaos. What happened to Chaos?
Actually, I just finished it.
Oh, okay. Cool.
And then Miss Atari, hold on. Well, I don't know what happened there, but.
How did it go?
Wee.
Shut Speedy up real quick. Make him quiet.
Man, you should have heard Speedy earlier, bro. He was playing Call of Duty. And I hear myself right now. Hello, how are you? I don't know. How are you?
Let me quench this theory. Y'all think I'm gonna stay quiet?
Wait,
The
you
only
still
person
don't
that
have
has
no
made
head-
me quiet is my daughter. Okay? And that's the only person that's gonna make me ever quiet. With her
When you
skills.
see Mr. Ty?
Speedy still without no headset?
Huh?
The what? No.
Oh, with the echo? Yeah.
He's using that cheap
No,
ass-
No,
Yeah,
because I only
but
get
he
this
was like
echo
that for
when you in the
years.
fucking party. Ramon. I was gonna say Ralph.
Well, not my fault that the kilohertz and decibels on my microphone is very good. Okay? Not my
Hey,
fault.
my phone. Y'all pay like fucking $300 for a fucking headset, and you get fucking echo and all this fucking shit from other headsets.
Well, you have to turn the fan away, get your butt cheeks sweaty and wetty, because.
That's an issue.
Sweaty and wetty.
Right, Trix? Yeah, I know, right? That's so crazy, bro. I know.
Did the echo go away?
It went away. Yeah.
Shit now. Shit now.
No, wait.
No, wait.
Testing?
No, it can't be me because this is what I had the last time I was playing
I
with
got
you
2
when you were
hours.
fucking bitching about this echo.
Yeah, that's crazy though, for real. You guys still hear me double?
I get that sometimes with Mr. Tari.
Yeah, no, it looks like you need to replug your headphones, Speedy.
Ooh.
Speedy needs to replug them. Oh, wait, testing. It's Miss Atari's headphones. Miss Atari, what are you doing? Look, you gotta fix your headphones.
Oh, now it's Miss Atari. Now what's gonna be next? The fucking pink unicorn emblem I got too?
No, yeah, I don't like pink. You know, it's gotta be purple, bro. Come on, we're like the unicorn from GTA 5. You gotta rock the purple unicorn, not the pink.
Hey, that's all they had. They got purple in the background. You happy with that?
Oh, okay. Well, you know, we're that PP, bro. That purple and pink. We got this, bro.
Got this. Oh, I unlocked a new cross.
No, what happened to our party? Everybody dipped? Oh, Chaos? I think he went AFK. And then we lost Skits, and then Miss Atari, you still downloading? You still at 92%?
Shit. I remember one time I was up.
I'm in now.
Oh, okay.
Reflex. Oh.
Having a talk with my stepdaughter that I was with the girl I was with, and I accidentally banged the fucking pony head on top of the chair, and the head came off.
What the heck is going on with my chat?
I was even in shock. Like,
Test.
oh my god! Kill the pony!
Heck, why won't it let me reply? What's wrong with my chat?
Later, I found one.
I'm just gonna refresh it.
And it was bigger and more expensive. So
This is all messed up. Test. There you go. That's better.
Fucking dash.
That's much better. Right.
That's the main one, right?
Oh my gosh.
No clue. My daughter really doesn't really care for the pony thing.
Oh, ain't you awesome?
My
What about
God.
Papa Pig?
She used to be, not no more.
How did that song go?
I can't say it right.
Loco, or whatever. How did that song go?
Now she's the
Pig.
LOL girls or whatever.
No. The
LOL.
one with the big giant rhino coming is like, ooh,
I don't know about that.
That was a big gray rhino coming up and he like knock you down the road. Yeah, what was it? What was the song?
Right zone in the house. Roger 3.
Yeah, like
Anyway, song of the day. Alright, men, here we go. We're jumping out the choppers right now. We're leaving out the LZ, Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta, Echo. Get it in northbound. Keep your heads up and your ass down. Let's move.
And we're gonna get some chunky.
Capture and defend each HQ as it comes online.
No, but anyway, my favorite song. I like them big.
Identified. Secure
I
the
like them
area.
chunky.
Play more sets.
Hey, when we gonna play some Roblox, guys? It's been a while.
You said Roblox.
Roblox, bro. And you got a daughter, man. Don't be hating on Roblox. Come on, man, for real.
HQ is online. They're capturing
Nah,
the
man, I
HQ.
got Ken. I got the Ken limited edition though, the one with the long hair that looks like Prince. Got the little jacket and everything.
We've lost the HQ.
Oh my god, my
Enemy at the
daughter's-
warehouse.
We're losing ground. Step it up.
The Claymore set.
She watches a kid.
HQ contested.
Damn it.
Reloading.
Mic off.
Doing really bad there, guys. Really bad there, boys.
The enemy HQ.
I almost got my VTOL like right off the bat. And there's a guy in the very corner.
Friendly UAV overhead. We've taken the HQ.
Alright, good shit, guys.
Almost done here. Ready up.
Way to take that. Take
Claymore
that shit,
set.
that shit.
All right, guys, keep it down. Keep it down. Let's go. Let's go. Move it. Move it. Move. Go. Go.
Yeah, UAV, let me UAV.
Get to the new HQ.
One down.
What?
Friendly UAV overhead.
What the heck?
Did you feel?
Bro, that gas.
All right, luck, bro. People get lucky in this game.
HQ is online. Secure.
Wow.
HQ contested.
Mr. Tari, you're supposed to watch my left bolito, man.
We secured the HQ. Stay alive.
Dropping the bomb, man.
Copy that, 99 over.
Allied cruise missile away.
Ooh, let me get this number.
Trying to shut down our HQ. No reinforcements available.
Man, these guys think they good.
Disable the HQ. Reinforcements inbound.
Gotta keep
Next
thinking.
HQ up is
Oh my god, why is it headquarters again, dog? I just realized.
It's gonna be
What?
Oh, who's the host?
pop up.
new HQ established.
Alright,
Let's hold off his back. Let's hold off his back entrance here.
copy that. I like the back entrance. Let's go.
I got. I got the back.
Enemy cruise missile coming.
Wow.
Friendly UAV overhead. Move to secure.
Can it take any more freaking longer to reload?
HQ contested. They're capturing the HQ.
No, they're capturing.
HQ contested.
Wow.
UAV overhead.
Get that bad boy. Get it, get it.
HQ contested. They're capturing the HQ. Go.
Whatever, man.
HQ contested.
Damn it, that nigga.
Enemy on the HQ. Get over there. They're capturing the HQ. Go. HQ contested.
Grab it, 'cause I'm gonna get him back.
Stand by.
That's crazy, bro. That's crazy talk. Hola, hola, hola. How are you? I don't know why it won't let me like reply. I don't know what's going on.
Reinforcements available.
How you doing there today, there, boy?
HQ contested. Allied cruise missile.
Damn it.
Enemy trying to shut down our HQ.
bad.
HQ contested. Disable the HQ. Reinforcements inbound. Almost done here. Ready up.
It's gonna be in this. the warehouse.
Oh! Gosh, I should have saw him up there. What was I thinking? I wasn't thinking. That was the problem.
Enemy at the office.
All right, let's keep it up, boys. Let's keep it up, boy.
My God.
All right, boys. Come on, man. We got to keep our ass up and our heads down. Let's go.
Oh, it's back over there again?
Yeah, we got to back it up.
Right.
There's one on the
Up
top.
Wow.
He climbs.
Friendly UAV overhead.
They're all up there now, so watch it.
HQ active. Move. They've taken the HQ. Enemy UAV overhead.
Oh, they got a trophy system.
There's one on the right.
There's a claymore by the window when I'm watching.
There you go, bro. This will help us out. Oh, they shot my... What the... I threw a claymore and got him. Brad, get him! Move! I ran out of ammo anyway.
We're losing ground. Step it up.
Kamikaze. Somebody's coming, kamikaze. I'm gonna call y'all.
HQ captured.
We're not.
Okay, get ready to move.
We gotta capture this.
Copy that, copy that.
Enemy care package inbound. Enemy cruise missile incoming.
Wow, okay. Okay!
Enemy at the warehouse.
This is some shenanigans here, bro.
Damn it. Damn.
What the hell was that?
Ah, okay.
What the? Are you falling?
On the second floor of the warehouse.
Nico,
Uh-oh.
stop.
Who let the dogs out?
HQ is online. Secure it. They're capturing the HQ. Go.
No, no, no.
Enemy precision airstrike. Take it.
On your back, Speedy. Let's go. Oh. Wow.
Lost the HQ.
Man, this game mode is screwing up my KD though, for real.
Nico.
Screw this. Play my way.
Enemy at the warehouse.
Enemy's halfway there. Step it up.
Nico.
Oh, not this one.
Did she say mommy?
You want to play on my? Yeah. You want to play on my
Why
phone,
would
sweetie?
it say that?
Just do.
Yeah.
Over here.
Wow. Uh-oh. Oh, I swear to God, Latin Mech Assassin always going live, blowing my phone and Xbox up.
Yeah, baby.
Okay, get ready to move. Enemy care package
Yeah,
inbound.
this is a grown-up game.
No, it's not.
Personal radar in the air.
This is like Gumpy and Simba fighting against Scar, and it's all good.
Station ID.
Well, baby. I didn't say that. I said... this
Enemy
is a
counter you.
grown-up game.
Enemy care package inbound.
Mommy and Daddy's game. You have to play your own game.
Reloading.
Fuck, you got a truck system there too.
Oh!
Enemy precision airstrike. Take cover.
Oh. You can help by telling me
Watch your right,
if you see something.
HQ
say,
active. HQ contested. Enemy on the HQ. Get over there. Enemy personal radar in the air. HQ contested.
Hold on.
They're capturing the HQ. Go.
Nico,
Missile
take it
incoming.
there.
HQ contested. They're capturing the HQ. Go. Allied cruise missile away. HQ lost.
Right, that's crazy.
What kind of retarded shit is that?
Right there, too.
Oh, watch it.
Enemy precision airstrike. Take cover.
niggas are running in the warehouse? Goddamn. Hiding in the fucking yellow warehouse.
We're losing this fight. Get your heads in the game. Location secured. Almost done here. Ready up.
Woo! Triple kill. Let's go.
Enemy care package inbound. UHQ established. Enemy UAV overhead. Friendly UAV overhead.
It's in the
Enemy cruise missile incoming.
Spawn kill.
HQ is green. Get a move on. We're at the HQ. Stand by. HQ contested. Care package arriving on station. Enemy cluster strike incoming. Take cover.
One down. Reloading.
Enemy at the warehouse.
HQ contested.
Wow, man, where's the team at? Oh, they probably got it now.
Enemy on the HQ. Get over there.
Enemy at the office.
HQ contested. Enemy on the HQ. Get over there.
Good copy. Met you.
Enemy UAV overhead. HQ contested. Enemy on the HQ.
Whatever, bro.
They've taken the HQ. Enemy precision airstrike. Take it. Less than a minute.
Enemy at the warehouse.
We've taken the HQ. Enemy personal radar in the air. Almost done here. Ready up. Enemy cruise missile incoming. Get to the new HQ. Enemy care package inbound.
Claymore set.
Wow. Come on, man. Alright, you know what? Yeah, the chat's working now. Hold on. How you doing today?
HQ is green. Get a move on. They're capturing the HQ. Go.
I'm about to switch up, guys. I can't do this.
You're not a baby.
I'm about to switch my I'm about to switch over to PC, guys.
Lost the HQ.
Alright, hold on.
Your sister found it upstairs.
Day's done. You're not. On your feet, soldier.
Oh, indeed. My friend.
Alright, I'm back. My bad.
Mic on.
No, you're good.
Oh shit. Now we're gonna win.
Mic off.
Yeah, I do a lot of assistance.
Wow. Better than Speedy, only got one in defense.
That what? That what?
Let me go get some slice of pizza real quick.
Assault robbery.
I think I gotta join the party back.
I got one defense, but I got 2 captures to your 1 capture. Yeah, and more kills.
You are now the party leader. What happened?
Mic on.
I was getting
Mic
distracted over here.
I'm joining the game session right now.
I had to go upstairs to get the baby, and then by the time I came down,
Who's the
I
leader?
I think Ramon.
This is the best I've seen you play yet, Speedy.
Huh?
Testing.
Mic on.
Yeah, my bad. No, give me a second, guys. Hold on.
Okay.
Because honestly, the last couple of days I
know you. Okay, I know you.
Oh, yesterday I was doing the fall. That's why.
You were what?
I was doing the gun called the fall.
Nico,
and I don't
stop
like
being
saying
in.
my weapons.
Mic off. Mic on. Mic
I
off.
say, damn.
I take an exception on that Winchester rifle, but
Sparta.
Mic on.
my background, my years, combination.
Hey,
How
Trick,
come
send
you
me
don't
a
put it
game
to
invite.
reduce the background noise? Why the fuck are we playing this shit again? We.
Yo, send me a game invite, Turkey.
No, what do you? Hey, Ramon, what do you? God damn, loud ass fucking helicopter. Can't hear
Oh,
shit.
he's playing headquarters. You gotta.
Hey, Ramon, what games you got on your on your playlist? You need to
Hold on.
He got almost everything.
Oh.
I'm not in anybody's party.
Hey, why are you throwing stuff, silly? You got makeup on?
What y'all want? I just put Team
You so
Deathmatch.
pretty.
I don't want that cyber tech shit.
Bruv, you're playing and I'm not even in there.
You're not?
Nope.
What happened?
Oh.
Can you join?
It says not joinable.
Yeah, all my shit says not joinable.
Oh, the thing is full though.
Holy crap!
We're gonna have to
Damn, you
back
couldn't
out.
wait, nigga.
Oh, I'm not the one that was the
Party leader. What's Ramon?
Well, get out of there, and then everybody just send
I'm
an
gonna turn the
invite
fan
all
off,
over you.
please.
Alright, I'm trying to join.
All right.
They only let you
Just me
join,
and
Ralph.
Speedy. Speedy, let's just back out.
Alright.
Oh, that's why I won't let me.
We were the only one in the round anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know who started. But... I gotta leave. Who's the party leader?
It don't matter. Yo, I'm gonna just put on the filter Team Deathmatch and click confirm because everything else is stupid. But what y'all want on there?
Your team, confirm, and I don't mind domination. I like domination.
You can't say it's me now, bitch.
Alright.
Kamarov.
Well, those are only three that I got on
side.
mine now.
Alright. What?
Yeah, I'm gonna say you sound clear now.
Okay, so how? Mine's not connected to my Xbox. It's just.
What do you mean? It's
I don't
not.
know.
What?
Hold on, maybe if I restart it. Hold on.
Alright, so I'll get. Am I the party leader?
So y'all joining mines then?
No, there's three. There's three guys. Three of mine.
I joined the
Join my
person that
game.
didn't show you I could
I got a
join.
pretty good internet setup right now. I'm wired, so I got.
So I'm about to
internet
join yours then, Ralph.
on Time Warner.
Cause this is the only one that says.
You
oh
need
no,
Spectrum.
now.
Time Warner went by.
Not here.
Now the only
You gotta
one.
make sure.
The only one that is showing joinable now.
There's difference
is,
between
It's a high speed
internet cords.
Ethernet cable. I'm not sure.
Never knew that.
All right, who we missing?
I'm not even right now. I'm hungry.
All right, so
Eat that shit right now.
Speedy's in here, Mr. Tari's in here. We need
Me, how do I go?
and Chaos.
Because Mr. Tari's the only one that says I could join. It doesn't. Yours was on there now. It says not
yeah,
joinable.
just join. Try to join her then. See, I'll send you an invite.
Let me see. Okay, I joined.
All right, cool. Oh shoot. Chico's
Am I there
on,
now?
but, yeah, you're here. You're good.
It's showing. Okay, yeah, it shows.
Which one's Chico on the TV?
Oh no, he's not in the game suite. It's just,
Yeah, who's that?
What?
Speedy?
What?
Are you coughing?
Guess what?
What?
Guess what?
He's playing a different game, sweetie.
Oh, he just joined the party. What up?
Damn, y'all got everybody in this party.
Yeah. Come on, we waiting on you.
What do I gotta do? Come to Call of Duty?
Yep.
Got
It's Fortnite's for pussies.
I mean, what will you be playing?
I'm not playing Fortnite.
That's
Fuck
for kids.
everybody in this party.
Hold
on,
well, fuck you, literally.
Not letting me invite.
nigga.
How come it's not letting me invite? Are we maxed out?
Nada.
Alright, I'm switching over. I guess I'll come to fucking Call of Duty.
Great, another person to fucking carry, Ralph.
Suck my dick. I'm the best player you've never seen.
I know.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I'm coming.
Not letting me.
Why don't we play some search and destroy and see who's the fucking best? Oh, that's why, Techland. I'm sorry. I got the fucking TV
I got
off mute.
that one.
Hold on a
You want to
second.
play the one you can revive the teammates or the one that you don't revive your
Can't
teammates?
open this.
Use a lot, sweetie. Okay.
What?
And I gotta turn off my sound on my TV. That's why you guys can hear
It's not letting me
yourself.
send you an invite though, bro. I don't get this.
Send me an invite. I'm coming in right now.
Yeah.
Not to the invite. I'm coming into the game. Not your game. Motherfucker, you shut up.
What? Me too?
Oh no. Yeah.
All right, now send me an invite. Since y'all made me switch games.
What do you make you
It
switch?
probably won't let you because it says he's offline.
No, he's not off. He's not
Really?
off.
Why does it say on mine?
Are we? What's the
There you
maximum
go.
people you can have in a party?
Hold on, Trix sent me an invite. Accept invite. Here I am.
There you go. All right. I don't know why it's not letting me send.
Jesus.
No, the friends list thingy is
I'm away,
broken
never mind.
still. You got a gun yet in this game? Chico?
I've never played this game. What is this?
Mic off.
My black ass.
Mic on.
God, there's
Oh,
like
you've
1,000.
been playing a little bit. You got a favorite gun yet?
Steve, what was that?
Yeah,
Which one?
your mom.
What? What was that gameplay?
Oh man, you're gonna fucking have to
My
keep
God.
reloading a lot.
Was it?
I love your mom.